Hey folks, we're back. We're back with a little problem here. This is our kayak rack that I built. It worked great for a couple years, and then I got a new top for my bed. I used to have the sliding one, just roll up towards the cab. I got me a new one. I got a fold-up one, which is actually stronger. I feel better setting things on top of it. I'll show you that in a moment. Problem is the angle on my uprights. I need to change that. I'm going to have to bring this straight up to this corner here today, is put it on the truck and then see where we sit. Once that's done, and I change this angle, well, my supports that go from one support to the other is going to change. I might be able to put a twist in this. It's not too much, but if I can't put a twist in it and it looked decent, then I'll have to put a bar from here down to match whatever I do there. That's the problem. Now let me show you how it all goes together. So of course we have the front piece, the back piece. Now the front piece which is backwards sits like this. This is out. And then the kayak sits in here. It's a custom fit for my kayak, my wife's kayak. Once that's in, I take the rod and slide it over the top. Then I got pins that this holds this on. Locks down the front. Okay? Then this is the rear. The kayak slide on it. Then this comes and sets on top and screws down with some 4x20 bolts. Now, what's the purpose of that? So when we go on a 2,000 mile round trip, that kayak's locked in. They don't move. I don't worry about them. I don't think about them. It is just done. So that was the whole point of building it like this. Straps. So the side supports, which hold the two supports together, has one hook in it on each side. And then I put a strap over the middle and tighten them down. So it's one strap. Okay, we're at the back of the truck. Here's the new cover. I went with the rough country. What I need to do is I'll lift one of these up first. I'll lift this one up. Oh. And I'll check it this way. That way I can kind of lean it on there and get more of an idea. Okay, we got it mounted. Simple enough. And that's how it looks. So now we're just getting some measurements. And the reason I put it all together was I was concerned about that center support being too far in for that to go up. So guess what? It's too far in. So now I know that I'm going to have to put some kind of bracket down here on that one. And then that whole support will be out here. That's a known thing. Now I need to take the brackets off so I can check out exactly where this is all going to lie. Okay. All right, guys. I think now would be a good time to remind you to subscribe. Check the links out at the end, and keep on watching. Subscribing. I've probably got 12 videos. I just started on YouTube, so there's you're going to see issues here and there with what I'm trying to do. But I have a lot more coming up. Subscribe, catch them, tell me what you think. Okay, so for my information and your viewing pleasure, I'll look at my measurements here, make a mark. I'll just get some measurements. I gotta think. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out here, cut all of this out up here on both sides. I'm just going to move this right over this edge. All right, it's a beautiful day to be out here grinding. 81 degrees, 81% humidity. But that's okay because I've got me a new shield. I've got some new Harbor 999 gloves. I have an old apron on. I put my sleeves on because there's a lot of cutting to do. Let's get to cutting. Maybe. Oh yeah. That's a nice tight fit. That's why I wanted to wear these today. Hold on to that grinder a little more than them baggier gloves. Oh yeah. These will be loose here in a few minutes. Let's go. All right, those cut out easy. Extra large is tight. So where we're at is I've got everything grounded off of here, the old welds. I've got this groove cut out on these. I've got them butted up tight. Now these are going to be pretty much vertical now. So I came up to the end where it's going to be, and I made a line, and I'm just going square. So I'll get to cutting this off, and then we'll go inside. What I'm going to do, as you can see, I got my metal flattened out here. I got me a piece of scrap. I'm just going to slice and dice, start filling everything in. So since I'm just filling in these little gaps right here, kind of hard to get a pencil or anything, make it quick. So here's how I go to make it quick. And a spray paint, I'll line up one side where I like it. I like that. There you go. Cut it there. I'll grind whatever's sticking up. So I'm good there, but simple. Simple, simple. And that's how that'll fit in there. This angle doesn't matter because that'll get ground down real quick, and then we'll put our top piece in last. A nice loose fitting helps, because then you can just take it, put it on a magnet, set it down in there. The magnet will draw it flush. Give you just enough time to get a couple tacks in there. Hold the magnet. Pulling the magnet. There you go. If we remember back in the photo where I had my ruler clamped to my post, it was actually sitting about right here. After doing the measurements, it was an inch. So what I'm going to do is cut this 3 inches long. I'll end up welding it to this, then tacking or welding all this together, and it'll stick out 2 inches. So I can do that with no problem. That's our plan. But I'm going to do all that outside and then come back in and we'll weld everything up. Unless you want to watch me cut and grind. Still got some welds I gotta touch up. Step by step in 100-degree weather. Here's what we got. These are welded straight, ground down, ready to be mounted on here. These are not ready to be welded on yet. So what we've done is we cut the end cap off 3/4 of an inch. Then I made this 3-inch piece that goes here, and that'll go there. Everything's beveled, getting ready to be tacked. Now to keep a nice straight line, I want to put this plate on the back side, and this piece of pipa. We know just one here will work. One here will work. And then we'll melt this one and it should work. Now we'll tack the top so we won't even be close to it, but there you go. I might be running low on gas. Do a quick cool on that. That's done. Now we will go grind everything off, come back and put the legs on, weld it up. Alright, we're ready to weld. Put this thing together. Got my center point, 64, 32. Measure several times. Got my mark. I know this face is out. Those go that way. This should work here. Let's see. Alright. We are looking great. I do have a video on building this table that sits on top of my plasma cutting table. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. We'll get the little tapper. Looks good on the bottom. This is like bending pipe. So, here's how this works. Let's say I'm going to bend some pipe on the bender. I've made one bend, now I make the other bend. Everything's pretty square. So you get your electronic level out. Wow. I've never had it land on double zeros. Then you come over to your other piece of pipe. This end needs to go down 0.3. Still 0.3. .1. You can come down, and if you really want to check, put it this way. 89.5. .3. So now you've pretty much established that everything is running. That's the right angle, so 90 degrees basically. Flat, flat. So that's how that's done. Get yourself a little electronic leveler. Okay, so everything says we're square. Now let's measure with my crappy tape measure. Outside to outside, I have 68. And I have 68 and just less than a eighth. Here we are. Perfect. Pretty good sized gap there. We can do it. Oh yes, we can. So, if anybody sees my helmet, let me know. Okay, if I go pull my truck forward in the garage, out of the garage, and hey, by the way, excellent, 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 excellent. They'll be in the description. I've worn knee pads for years, guys, and these are the best I've ever had. We get to do this together. I have not done a test fit. So let's see how this goes. Typically, I'd have a wife with me. Oh, I just went in too quick. That fit nice. That's exactly what we wanted there. Look at that. Oh, thank you. Well, that fell right into place. Yep. Boy, I hope you guys are as happy as I am. I'll finish welding. I got inside, outside on both of these. Clean everything up. I'll paint it. And then the next time you see me, we'll start working on those horizontal supports. We got the front and the back bracket here. I was going to mount everything onto the truck, and I don't need to do that. It's pretty obvious what needs to be done. So I'll give you an angle here of what it looks like, everything centered. So it's going to roughly be just like this here. So to get this long support this way, more copacetic, it's not going to make that big bend like that. So I'll take a piece of strap, 2-inch strap, and we'll get it more like that right there. Then we'll put our riv nuts in this piece here. But I think that's going to be a lot better. I can make that work with just that little gap over a 6-foot distance there. That measurement ended up being about 11 and a half. We're going to go 2 inches wide. We know that. Let me get something else. That'll work like that. Let's put the Vabby table back on. We got our straps cleaned up. Had a little slag on my straight edge. Got a notch in that one. We'll be good. Kind of measure for these rib nuts. What I want to do is come to the center of that You know what, that'll work. I like that center and that center. So if I do that, my first one is 3 1/8. So 6 3/8. So we can just measure down. I know this is my square edge here. Let's come down 3 1/8. We'll go with a little sharper here. I've got my that 6 3/8. And I've got that. And we want to go 1 inch on the inside. Take this tape measure. There you go. I believe what I need to do, I'm going to call this the driver. Driver outside. And then this one here, that would be passenger. Pass. Oh, hey. Pass. And then we'll out with an arrow up. And let's put an arrow up there, just so I don't forget. Okay. So what my concern is on those brackets that bolt to these, they might be askewed a bit, the holes. So I'm going to get those, and then we'll just use the top hole and then mount the bottom wherever it goes. Let's do, this is going to be driver side. Yeah, I think that was a good choice. Real good choice. We'll get these holes drilled there. Going to go with safety glasses. Just kind of keeping keeping the shavings together. Easy cleanup. I am drilling holes to put riv nuts in. So for those of you that haven't seen that, this is an old school handy model. You just have a rivet with threads on it, basically. This all goes together. Got different sizes. So it all just fits in here nice. You're just putting this on, just like a rivet. So the rivet's on. You grab your piece of steel. The newer ones kind of have a nice loop. They're easier from what I've watched. Now, with that said, then you just unscrew this here. And there you go. And the rivet pulls it. Now, once you put a bolt in here, it actually sucks it even tighter. So all you need to do is get her firm, and then from there on, good to go. So the good ones have little knurls on them that help bind. My little aluminum ones, they don't have knurls. That's that. Take it apart so it fits in my little tray. So I'll take that bracket outside and start grinding it off, grind the paint off, grind off those lugs. Cut these to size, make sure they're perfecto. I'll be back. So I got those holes drilled out. We're going to go ahead and fill those in, get those leveled off. So we have a flat disc. The other day when I put the back together, I had gouges because I didn't have flat discs. So I rushed out and got some flat discs, not through the company I use, Benchmark. These are not near the quality. So, and basically the same price, and they're not the quality. So Benchmark abrasives. So there you go, we got those holes filled in. All right, the more I can have my pieces being held in place, the better off I am. So I got this clamp here keeping it square, got this clamp pulling it down right where I need it. So we can actually weld this one up. Yes, it's still hot out. Anyway, hey, so when I talk about abrasives, our consumables get pretty expensive. When you're doing a big project, you're going through a lot of stuff. So, like I say, I found this company, Benchmark, been using them for years. Since I started this project, I'm still on the same flap disc. If you notice, see how it's still got the nice edges? They're not binding up. A lot of them will just get wear out. Whatever's in there makes it a real smooth surface. These stay nice and flappy. So I've been through paint on there. You can probably see that. The paint came off. You really don't ever want to get in paint with these. But yeah, just happy as heck. We are putting this thing together. Here we go. Just dented my truck. Oop. We gotta go the right way. Oh, she shrunk overnight. Riv nut in the bed. Maybe not. Maybe not on that hole. Okay. There you go. Only one hole. Needs to be wallered out a little bit. That pulled over good. I can do that to my truck if I want. So, you head in. Got the other one. That's that. Now, it's July 22nd, I believe, where we had a tropical heat wave. So it's already 98 degrees right now. It is hot. I don't think I'm gonna put my kayaks on and show you. But we are getting ready to go on a trip, and I'll have everything loaded up on it. I'll show you the convenience of putting them up there and how I lock them down. But this project was basically just getting it to where I could open and close my lid. I think we achieved that. I don't think it looks too bad. We'll walk around it here. Let me go out a little bit. If we look down the line, I think that looks good. In the end, I could have really have notched this out, bent these over, flattened that out. I'm kind of happy with this, so yeah. Project came out good. So I will take it down, take it to the shop, clean it up with some crud cutter, and paint it up. This picture up here is one of my modifications I did. That's a total rebuild of an old golf cart. The steering geometry is off on it to where it's kind of tight on it. Now it's really tight steering. So I'm going to cut that steering up and try to get it to be a little smoother. But yeah, check out my next video, guys, and subscribe. Thank you.